What's up, everyone? Matt Gajewski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel, and today we're talking some college football Week 10. It's the Wednesday doubleheader in Conference USA. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. If you've done that, thank you. And I'm going to talk about our presenting sponsor quickly, Bet365. They have a deal right now where you can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Whether your bet wins or loses just needs to be on any game, side, or total. But we have additional promos, and Bet365 is included in this. This is just the Odd Shopper promos page. You can go to Tails, click Get Expert Picks for free, or you can click the links below. But basically what happens, if you sign up with one of these partners, you are getting 1 free month of our Tails package. You can pick any creator you'd like, get in the ecosystem. It's fantastic. It's not just me in there, Ben's in there, Eric's in there, a ton of guys. You can see if you like it. It's a great way, basically risk-free, to take advantage of this just by signing up with one of our partners. This deal won't be around forever. And one thing you can do is actually stack them. So if you wanted 2 months, 3 months, sign up with more than one partner, and it takes care of itself. Of course, if you or somebody knows a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, bring you to our live odds screen. I'm going to try not to spend a lot of time on this. This is a horrific slate. Conference USA has been an absolute mess this year. And last night was no different, with New Mexico State willingly starting a 4th-string quarterback. Despite their starter being healthy, don't get me started. And then Sam Houston, Louisiana Tech, played below 15 points total. All right, so we have Jacksonville State taking on Liberty. Talk about disasters. Liberty just lost outright to Kennesaw State. And that's not the only concern with Liberty this year. I mean, this team has played 6 games because their App State game got canceled. They beat New Mexico State by 6. UTEP, that was a 28-10 game, still not covering the spread. East Carolina, 35-24, same deal. FIU, 31-24. Same deal there. There was 31-24. Sorry for the confusion. Bottom line, Liberty's not living up to expectations. I'm not really sure the reason why. This team returned a lot of players outside of the receiver position. Salter's still been pretty good. He's definitely had his games. Where last one against Kennesaw, huge disappointment. 61% completion, 8.1 yards per attempt, 10 touchdowns, 2 picks, 12 big type throws, 5 turnover-worthy plays. Still has 4.4 yards per carry. The O-line, 91st in pass blocking, 5th in run blocking. They've been rotating guys there. They're clearly not happy with the pressure rate they're allowing at 25%, but they're doing fine run blocking. Receiver is a problem for them. Reese Smith, he missed their last game. I don't know if we see him. Sibley's out for a few weeks. So they have a couple of receivers banged up. Julian Gray still on a pitch count from his injury earlier this year. They want to run the ball, and that's what they should do. When you look at Jacksonville State's defense, that's where they're weakest. 75th overall in run defense. They're 38th in coverage. I don't know. Liberty has shot themselves in the foot many times. I don't understand the O-line rotation. I don't understand why they benched Quinton Cooley after a fine game midway through Kennesaw and rode Billy Lucas right into the ground and to their own defeat. I just don't know. Some of the coaching decisions for this team have not made sense this year, and they've paid for it. So hopefully they can right the ship. The real question is, can Jacksonville State move the ball? Because they allowed basically career highs to Davis Bryson for Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State was at 9.4 yards per pass attempt. On paper, Liberty is 33rd in defense, 22nd in run defense, 36th in pass rush, 52nd in coverage. They played a cupcake schedule. It is what it is. They have an easier schedule than some FCS teams. And they've had cracks along the way. It's not just Davis Bryson. Keon Jenkins was at 8.4 yards per attempt. Parker Awad was at 7.2. The Campbell QBs, and they use more than one combined for 10.8 yards per attempt. I'm just not sure this defense is any good, which is shocking because they had a ton of guys back. But they are missing Jay Hardy at defensive tackle. That's worth noting. On the Jacksonville State offense, I expect them to move the ball against this team. They have a few guys injured, mainly at running back. Anwar Lewis should return here, but they lost their center earlier this year. Otherwise, this is a fairly healthy Jacksonville State team. Tyler Huff is limited as a quarterback. It just is what it is. But on the ground, this guy's dynamic. He has 654 rushing yards, 7 yards per carry. Their O-line is one of these weird imbalanced units, kind of like Liberty's, 116th in pass blocking, 49th in run blocking. Fortunately, they don't want to throw the ball. They want to just ram it down your throat, and they've been pretty good at doing so. This is a close game. I mean, if you forced me to pick, it would be Jacksonville State. I don't know that I'm going to play this. Currently, you can find 2.5s out there, and they're not juiced. I'm probably going to need a 3 to at least consider this. The total 63. That's somewhat interesting to me because Jacksonville State 10th in pace. They want to run as many plays as they can. Liberty's 74th. So maybe a greasy over, but that's not a great number either. I don't know. I don't know if I see myself getting mixed up in these Conference USAs outside of underdogs for the near future. It's just too volatile. That brings us to our second game. Kennesaw State taking on Western Kentucky. 24.5 is interesting to me with Kennesaw State. I've been betting Kennesaw State on occasion this year with pretty good success. They've been covering some spreads, and then obviously the outright win against Liberty. That wasn't even egregious either. Yards per play was very close. Kennesaw State was at 5.2 and Liberty was at 5.4. So that very good data point for Kennesaw. And they've been playing better recently. They only lost by 9 points to Middle Tennessee. I guess that's better. They scored 24 against Jacksonville State. Some of that was kind of handed to them with Jacksonville State turnovers and special teams miscues. But the reason this team is interesting when they're catching like 24.5, they play this weird offense, and it's still been pretty weird. They're running the ball as much as they possibly can. Last year, they were a very run-heavy team. This year, they're at 37% pass. Last game, they were at 33% pass. They're playing super slow. It's a gimmicky offense. Can Western Kentucky score enough points to bring this over the total? I'm not sure, or cover the spread. They are 34th in pace, but Kennesaw being 127th kind of puts a cap on as many plays as you can run in this game. I still think they're going to be able to score. Kennesaw, their strength is defense. I will say that. 63rd overall, 71st against the run, 88th in pass rush, 51st in coverage. You're just playing a very good Western Kentucky offense who might be the cream of the crop in this conference. Even with their backup, Veldkamp, he is a near 70% completion, almost 9 yards per attempt, only 5 turnover-worthy plays. He is somewhat mobile. They have a good offensive line. They're top 65 in pass blocking and run blocking, which is good for a Conference USA team. And their defense has started to play a little better. They've gotten, I think, kind of fortunate with the quarterbacks they faced. They were diced up early in the year by, especially Nick Vattiato was the most concerning. But then they stood up tall, 6.1 yards per attempt to Tucker Gleason of Toledo, 5.3 to Grayson James. He's the backup for Boston College, so pretty good data point, I guess. Skylar Locklear was a huge mess. That's UTEP's QB. And then they played Jace Bauer. So maybe I'm giving them too much credit overall, but recently they've had better play. And their weakness is in coverage. Kennesaw State cannot throw the ball. Even with a career game for Davis Bryson, still 6 turnover-worthy plays to 3 big-time throws, 56% completion, 6.1 yards per attempt. They've been a mess. So, yeah, they kind of righted the ship a little bit against Liberty. I'm going to bet against that moving forward. And if you're just running the ball at Western Kentucky, that is not an advantageous matchup. Then, on the Kennesaw State offensive side, I don't know what they really do well outside of run the ball. And even then, they're 131st in rushing efficiency. So it's hard to back them. Western Kentucky's much better. They're facing Kennesaw's secondary that's 51st in coverage. They'll throw the ball over the top of you. They have excellent receivers. It's a tough game to handicap, man. It's Kennesaw or pass just based on the value of the point. I don't know if I'll end up taking this. This horrible Conference USA slate. Feel bad. They're the ambassadors for our weekday football. And then people have to go out there and they turn on their television and they see New Mexico State's 4th-string quarterback starting when their starter's healthy. And tonight, if you do that, you're going to turn on Kennesaw, and you might have a similar reaction. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those of you that are getting your first introduction to weekday football. That's all it is. I'm passing on this slate. Until next time, good luck, everyone. We'll see you later.